If you think your electric car is invincible just because it doesn't have an engine or oil changes, think again. EVs can last hundreds of thousands of miles, but only if you treat them right. Sadly, most EV owners make mistakes every single day that silently kill their battery, motor, and expensive electronics. And trust me, these repairs aren't cheap. One bad habit could cost you $15,000 or more. So in this video, I'll expose 13 stupid mistakes that are destroying electric cars. And more importantly, I'll tell you exactly how to avoid them so your EV runs like new for years. Let's start with the one that's killing more batteries than anything else. Number 1. Fast charging. All the time. Yes, fast charging is convenient. Plug in for 30 minutes and you're good to go. But here's the ugly truth. High voltage fast charging generates extreme heat inside your battery cells, and over time this heat breaks down the lithium-ion chemistry. The result? Reduced capacity, lower range, and in worst cases, complete battery failure. Studies from manufacturers like Tesla and Nissan have shown that frequent DC fast charging can cause your battery to degrade up to 30% faster compared to slow, overnight level 2 charging. That's because fast charging forces more current into the battery than it's naturally comfortable with, stressing the internal structure. Use DC fast charging only for emergencies or long trips. For daily use, charge overnight at home with a slower charger. Not only will this extend battery life, but it's also cheaper and better for the grid. But charging speed isn't the only killer. What you do with your battery when it's full is just as bad. Number 2. Keeping battery at 100%. Too often, unlike gas cars, EVs hate being full for long periods. Lithium-ion batteries are healthiest when kept between 20% and 80% charge. Keeping them at 100% for days at a time causes higher voltage stress, which accelerates chemical wear inside the cells. Manufacturers like Tesla even have software warnings telling you not to charge to 100% unless you need it for a trip. In fact, fleet data shows that EV owners who charge to 100% daily lose range far faster, sometimes by 10 to 15% within just 3 years. For everyday commuting, set your charging limit to 80% in your EV settings. Only go to 100% if you're about to drive a long distance immediately afterward. Of course, there's the opposite problem too, letting your battery get dangerously low. Number 3, running the battery down to 0%. If you're the kind of driver who waits until your EV is at 0% before charging, you're shortening your battery's life. At very low charge levels, the voltage inside the cells drops too far, which can cause irreversible chemical damage. Worse still, if you leave an EV parked at 0% for even a few days, the battery could enter deep discharge mode. And some EVs require a full battery replacement if this happens, costing $10,000 to $20,000. Treat your EV like your phone. Don't let it drop below 10 to 15%. The sweet spot is keeping it between 20% and 80% for maximum lifespan. But battery level isn't the only thing to watch. Even your driving style plays a huge role. Number 4. Flooring. At all the time, EVs are insanely quick. Instant torque is addictive. But here's the problem. That thrilling acceleration dumps huge amounts of current from the battery in seconds, creating intense heat and stressing both the battery pack and motor windings. Over time, constant hard launches can cause your battery to lose range faster and your motor bearings to wear prematurely. EVs like the Tesla Model 3 and Porsche Taycan are designed for performance. But that doesn't mean you should launch every time you see a green light. Enjoy the acceleration occasionally, but drive smoothly for most trips. This keeps your battery temperatures stable and greatly extends the life of your EV. And speaking of heat, there's a big one most drivers completely ignore. Number 5. Ignoring battery temperature. Extreme heat is the #1 enemy of EV batteries. If your battery consistently operates above 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit, chemical breakdown speeds up dramatically. That's why EVs have thermal management systems. But they're not magic. Parking in direct sunlight for hours, driving aggressively in hot climates, or charging too fast in summer can all push your battery into dangerous heat zones. Park in shaded or covered areas whenever possible. Avoid charging immediately after long, high-speed drives in hot weather, and use your EV's pre-cooling feature to regulate temps before charging. But it's not just heat. Cold weather has its own deadly effect. Number 6, charging in freezing temperatures. Without preheating, in freezing weather, charging a cold battery can cause lithium plating, where lithium metal deposits on the anode instead of properly absorbing into it. This permanently reduces battery capacity. Modern EVs like Teslas and Hyundais have battery preheating features, but you must enable them before plugging in. In winter, start preheating your battery via the app before charging. Also, try to keep your EV plugged in when it's cold so the battery stays warm enough for safe charging. Charging mistakes aside, many EV owners ruin their cars simply by skipping one crucial maintenance habit. Number 7, never rotating tires. EVs are heavier than gas cars, sometimes by 1,000 pounds or more, because of their battery packs. This extra weight puts more stress on tires, wearing them out faster. If you never rotate them, your front tires could wear out in under 15,000 miles. Rotate your tires every 5,000 to 7,500 miles to even out wear. Also, check tire pressures monthly. Low pressure increases rolling resistance and drains range. Tires aren't the only thing wearing faster in EVs. Brakes can also be a hidden problem. Number 8, forgetting to service brakes. You might think EV brakes last forever thanks to regenerative braking. And yes, pads can last much longer. But here's the catch. Because they're used less, brake components like calipers and rotors can actually rust and seize. Have your brakes inspected at least once a year, even if you barely use them. Occasional hard braking can also help scrape rust off the rotors. Now let's talk about one that's silently killing EVs from the inside. Number 9, using the wrong coolant. Many EV owners don't realize their battery pack and motor use a special type of coolant for temperature regulation. Using the wrong coolant, or ignoring coolant service intervals, can cause corrosion inside the battery's cooling system. Follow your EV manufacturer's coolant change schedule and never use generic coolant without confirming it meets the exact spec for your EV. Speaking of fluids, yes, your EV still has some. Number 10, ignoring gearbox fluid changes. EVs don't have traditional transmissions, but they do have single-speed gearboxes with lubricant. If you ignore gearbox fluid changes, you risk metal shavings building up and damaging gears. Check your owner's manual. Some EVs recommend gearbox fluid changes as early as 30,000 miles. Now here's a mistake that's both dangerous and expensive. Number 11, overloading the car. Carrying heavy loads all the time stresses your battery, motor, and suspension. Extra weight increases energy use, reducing range and forcing your battery to work harder. Remove unnecessary heavy items from your trunk and avoid exceeding your EV's payload rating. And finally, the one mistake even careful drivers make. Number 12, skipping software updates. Your EV's software controls battery management, charging speed, and even cooling systems. Skipping updates can leave your car vulnerable to bugs or outdated battery protection algorithms. Always install manufacturer updates. They often improve battery health and charging efficiency. And last but not least, number 13, washing the car incorrectly. Using high-pressure water around charging ports or under the battery can cause moisture intrusion. While EVs are sealed, repeated exposure to high-pressure water can weaken seals. Hand wash your EV when possible and avoid directly spraying high-pressure water at sensitive electrical areas. And there you have it, 13 stupid mistakes that could silently destroy your electric car. Avoid these, and your EV could easily last 300,000 miles or more without major repairs. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, subscribe to Car Care Xpert, and turn on the bell so you don't miss my next guide on saving thousands in car repairs. Now tell me in the comments, which of these mistakes have you been making?